What is going on, Re Nation? Welcome back to the channel. So, one of you guys requested me to do this video, and it's about what culture. Now, this is one that is called 10 Things That WWE Wants You to Forget About Sheamus. Now, Sheamus, I like the new Sheamus. Now, if the old Sheamus was point blank stale, if they would just take Roman Reigns off the TV like they did Sheamus and bring him back as a new person, I would be okay with that. But Sheamus was a face for about 3 years, and then he turned heel. He came back and turned heel. Like, oh man, it took forever. Like every time I saw this guy on TV, I was like, ugh, it's terrible. But I'm just glad he changed for the better. Because if he would have never changed his character, man, I'm telling you, he would have got fired from WWE. He would have been released like Hornswoggle, Saint Morello, Brad Maddox. He would have been released like all of them. So good thing he changed his gimmick, and he is the tag team champions with Sheamus with Cesaro. But if you haven't, hit that like button on the video and subscribe to the channel. I see a whole bunch of people subscribing, man. That is amazing. I'm glad you guys support me 100%. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, man, I don't know what you're doing. I'm just saying. But let's get into this video, man. This is going to be lit. Ooh.
Sheamus is probably the nicest and friendliest rooster in the world, but that doesn't change the immutable fact that he ruins everything. No, but seriously, I like Sheamus. He ruins everything. Everything, not just things he's directly interacted with. His red hair has ruined all sunsets, his face has ruined smiling, and his white skin has ruined Christmas. He's a top wrestler, his team with Cesaro is one of the best things about Monday Night Raw right now, but he ruins things. If Sheamus has ruined anything in your life, send us a picture along with the hashtag #SheamusRuinedThis. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 things WWE want you to forget about Sheamus. Number 10, 1-800-Fella. Sheamus' 3-year babyface run ruined.
I told you it was three.
Spent every
3
single
years.
week bro-kicking humor to death with his awful jokes scripted by the worst filth of the creative department. During his feud with Alberto Del Rio, which was booked so it felt like it lasted for about 74 years, he did skits where he stole Bertie's car, where he kicked the
Oh yeah, he ate a burrito on it and destroyed it. Oh my god,
pretended his
yes.
surname with lip shits and a dreadful legal bit with David, the death of all Joyo Tunga. But the worst thing Sheamus ever did was the 1-800-Fella ads. To rejuvenate the Celtic Warriors character or put it out of its misery, hard to tell, WWE aired commercials where Sheamus would solve problems by kicking them. Cat stuck in a tree, call 1-800-Fella.
Oh yes.
Bad case of the hiccup.
I remember it now.
1-800-Fella.
Wow.
Do
Okay,
you
I
still
got
have a
it.
small bit of human empathy left? Call 1-800-Fella. That'll take care of it. Number 9, losing to a turkey. For a long while, it felt like nobody could beat Sheamus. Now, I'm not saying his World Heavyweight Championship run ruined 2012, but it did. It did, you know. However, someone who does have a victory over the Great White, a puppet of a turkey. Dustin the Turkey, in fact, a famous character on Irish television from the same show that brought the world zig and zag, and if you've never heard of them, I hate you. Years before he debuted as the Sheamus we all know and think ruins stuff, Sheamus appeared on Dustin's Daily News, and a feud between him and the prize poultry erupted. They had an actual fight, and the winner was the turkey. Now that's all fun and games, and Sheamus' later interactions with Beaker has shown that he does love a puppet, but if Vince was terrified of having Sheamus lose for years, he might not wanted to get out that he lost to a turkey. Number 8, DX kicking the piss out of him. As we've already covered in 11 infamous before they were famous WWE cameos, one of our first major videos from way back when, God I miss 2015, we covered that superstars often appear as extras on WWE TV before they get famous. Look, here's WCPW's Joe Hendry as a rosebud. Isn't that mental? Sheamus is no different, dressing as a security guard and having the ginger piss kicked out of him on an episode of Raw in 2006, eating the out of a pedigree. 2 years later, he won the WWE title and then went on to face the man who destroyed Triple H at WrestleMania. I think in the build-up to that match, they might have wanted you to forget that Triple H once danced all over his punk ass. Number 7, the big chair. Well, it's the big chair. So the Big Show is big, right? He wears big clothes, he wears big shoes, and he needs a big
Big Show
serum.
buff now.
Also, when
He
the
got
Big Show
pecs.
participates in chairs matches, he hits people with big chairs. No, seriously, this happened on pay-per-view in 2012. It was a TLC pay-per-view, and Big Show fought Sheamus in a chairs match for the World Heavyweight Championship. You know, chairs matches, the awful paint-drinking black sheep of the TLC family. The ending of the match was, no joke, the Big Show pulling out a giant chair and clonking Sheamus with it. It looked like a Carrot Top skit, and the only thing more embarrassing than being the one wielding the chair is being the one hit by it and then pinned. Poor Sheamus. Number 6, fighting Sin Cara. Pretty much everyone fights Sin Cara. I'm pretty sure even I've had a backstage brawl with him by this point. The dude has anger management issues and has decked a whole host of people backstage, including Simon Gotch, Chris Jericho, which is why Jericho wore a Sin Cara mask to sucker punch Rollins on Raw after Survivor Series, and of course, Sheamus. In 2014, the two had a confrontation. It's unclear what about, but as seems to be the way with the Faceless One's numerous scuffles, Sin Cara decked his opponent, sweeping Sheamus's legs from under him and raining punches. Of course, Sheamus is supposed to be a conquering warrior and a great white shark in human form, so they probably want you to forget the fact that a guy who hasn't been relevant in many years laid him out. Number 5, that King of the Ring outfit.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Get out of here with that crown. Get the out of here. Now, it may be that I'm accidentally mocking a famous and treasured icon of Celtic heritage, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. That crown. Sheamus ruined King of the Ring. Number 4, fighting Yoshitatsu. My name is Sheamus, and I love to fight. And he ruddy bloody does as well. Turns out Sheamus has had not one, but 2 backstage brawls that went public. The second was with Yoshitatsu, the man with the catchiest earworm entrance theme ever. Remember? I'm losing it. I've done too many of these. The popular story is that the two men were in developmental and Sheamus had borrowed money from Tatsu when he didn't pay it back in a fashion deemed timely by the Cardiac Kid. Apparently that was his nickname at some point. He went ahead and slapped the Celtic Warrior around. Again, bit embarrassing considering that Yoshitatsu barely featured on Raw during his 7 years with the company.
Damn.
Number 3, he stole a Rumble win from Y2J. I'm still cross about this. So Sheamus won the 2012
Oh yeah, I remember that,
to win the
yeah.
World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania in 18 seconds, then do other heinous things like feud with Alberto Del Rio for 142 years and ruin the concept of giant chairs. Anyway, the Royal Rumble win was so shocking people expected it to go to Chris Jericho. Y2J had returned not long before and cut one of the weirdest and best promos of the year where he returned, said nothing for ages and then walked away.
Imagine if he would have won
The
though.
world is coming shtick and was booked to win the Royal Rumble. However, because it was deemed too predictable, it was changed at the last minute to Sheamus. Yay! Winning by default. Sometimes things are predictable because they feel right, and Jericho absolutely should have won that Rumble to make his subsequent feud with Punk for the WWE title even bigger.
Yes.
I'm furious. Sheamus ruins everything. Number 2, his WWE title reigns were all terrible. Fair's fair to the pale whale himself. Sheamus was booked to be a pretty dominant world heavyweight champion. He had the 3rd longest reign in the belt's history at 210 days, knocking off Daniel Bryan, Alberto Del Rio, Dolph Ziggler, and Chris Jericho. His WWE title reigns, not so much. He held the belt 3 times. Each time he was booked to look like a transitional champion, each time retaining the belt with other people's help. Sure, he won the belt on his 2nd pay-per-view, but it was by fluke, with Cena falling back through a table. He retained by DQ at the Rumble.
It was
then
a
lost
fluke?
at Elimination Chamber, eliminated 4th, not even last. The 2nd time he won the belt at Fatal 4-Way 2010 thanks to interference from the Nexus, retained the belt against Cena at Money in the Bank thanks to interference from the Nexus, retained at SummerSlam against Orton via DQ, then lost it at Night of Champions. Great stuff. Finally, he cashed in at Survivor Series 2015. Remember? The good
Oh
one.
my God.
Retained at TLC thanks to the League of Nations, then lost at the
I
next
hated
night
that.
on Raw. Tidy few reigns there. And number 1, walking in on Daniel Bryan f***ing. He did. He did. Not just that, but the first time that he and Brie Bella tried to have sex. And look, I'm not lying about Sheamus ruining everything. As revealed by the greatest GOAT of all time himself in his autobiography, Bryan and Bella had just started seeing each other and were getting ready to do a most wonderful and lovely bit of first sex when Ted DiBiase and Sheamus stormed into their hotel room drunk, with Sheamus going literally, and Daniel Bryan quotes him, "Ah, fella. Sheamus, what is wrong with you?" And that's our list. Did we miss anything
That's
out? Tell me down in the
shady.
comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam
So
from
shady,
WhatCulture.com,
man.
and I'll see you soon.
What? You telling me this guy walked in on Daniel Bryan getting it on with Brie Bella the first time? What? Oh man, no. That ain't right. And I didn't realize how terrible Sheamus has ruined a lot of things. Imagine if Chris Jericho would have won the Royal Rumble. That would have made the Punk feud a lot better, but it could have like affected Punk when it comes to him, keeping the title and going on to fight Rock at the Royal Rumble and lose it. But dang, I mean, CM Punk and Chris Jericho feud was really good. Like when Chris Jericho was trying to like force him to drink and bought him that the alcohol basket with all the alcohol and stuff. It's just crazy, man. When I was really mad when Sheamus won the not Royal Rumble, but that too. But I mean the Money in the Bank. Now Money in the Bank, I really wish he would have just never won it. I didn't like him as WWE champion, but he's a tag team champion right now, so let's let him stay with that. You know, don't get him too involved in other shit. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Tell me the worst Sheamus moment that you remembered. Now, I didn't know the Cena falling through the table was a fluke. Like, was he not supposed to win it? I don't know. I actually watched that pay-per-view and I was like, holy shit. Like, when I was little, I was like, wait, was John supposed to fall off the table like that? I mean, fall through the ropes like on the table? I was wondering about it, but I don't know. But I'll see you guys in the next video. I post. Reed Nation, we're out. Deuces. One love. Peace.